everyone, welcome to Kit and Brush. Today I'm going to be drawing Mei Lee from Disney Pixar's Turning Red. And she's going to have some cute red panda ears and a tail to add to it, and it's going to be a chibi style character. So grab a pen and some paper and let's get started. Alright, in the center of my paper, I'm going to draw a small curve for her nose. And on each side of that curve, draw a nice round circle. Now inside of the circle, which of course are the eyes, draw a slight curve. You're going to create a crescent shape on the inside of those eyes. And now let's add the highlights. Just 2 circles there. And for the pupils, we're going to draw 2 ovals, 1 in each eye of course. And they're going to go all the way to the top of the eye. Now let's go ahead and color those in. Now to clean up the top of the eye, I'm just going to add a little bit of black ink here. And then I'm going to turn that into her eyelashes. And I'm just going to add 2 lashes on each side of the eye. And then inside the iris, I'm going to add a line and just color above that line. We're doing a chibi style eye, a chibi style character, so the eyes are going to be chibi style as well. Now let's go ahead and draw her glasses. And for that, I'm just going to draw a curve there on each side, just sort of mirroring. And then I'm going to bring around a U shape and connect to both ends of that curve I drew. Now the inside of those 2 big ovals, I'm going to draw a smaller oval. It's just the rim of her glasses. And let's go ahead and draw just the centerpiece where the nose piece goes. Now let's go below the nose and create a small curve. And then 2 lines coming off of the end of the curve, and then just connect those 2 lines. So create the mouth, and then inside the mouth, draw 2 small curves again, and then connect the 2, creating the teeth, and my teeth got really funky there. And then just below the teeth, add some more curves, just 1 on each side, that's for the tongue, and then color the inside of the cheeks there. Now let's create the eyebrow. Go above the left eye, create a small curve, and then just swoop that curve up and down, creating the bottom of the eyebrow. And do the same thing on the right side. Now at the point that we first made, you're just going to draw a straight line and then continue on with a small curve. And Mei looks really fierce here. That's what I'm going for. She's got a lot of attitude. So on each side of the face, you're going to put just 1 point on each side of her glasses. And now we're going to round out the bottom of her face. So just bring those points around, just creating a curve and bringing it down and connecting at the bottom there. Just clean that up a little bit. Now for the ears, you can use the mouth as sort of a guideline. Just create 2 points on each side where you're going to connect that curve. So just bring up a curve and you're going to create a hook at the top for her ears. Now I'm going to add just 2 small lines for the neck. This will help us when we do our hair here in just a minute. Now for the hair, we're going to start with the part, and you're going to go just above the right eyebrow. Just put a point there. A nice big curve. And an oval shape for her clip. And then a small oval on the inside of that clip. Followed by another curve going down toward her ear. Now let's go back to that first point we made. Create a small curve, and then you're going to kind of just bring that curve inward and swoop it around behind her ear. Now go above that first point we made for her hair part, and you're going to create another point, followed by a big curve for the top of her head, and go down to her neck now, and we're going to create the bottom of her hair. So just create a long curve, bring that up, and you want to put just a little dent in that curve there and connect it to the top. We're going to do sort of the same thing on the other side, just a slight curve at the bottom, and then come up with a small dent just in her hair there. Now I'm going to go back to the top of her head and just create another curve to connect that curve I just drew. Now her ears can be a little tricky. We have that side part there and that can throw things off. So I'm going to just draw that imaginary line and create a little point at the very top of her head, just to be really centered with her face, and then draw a point on each side of that center point. And this will be the start of your ears. Now on the left point, you're just going to draw a slight curve and do the same thing on that right point. And now we're going to round off the top of those points, or top of the curve that we just made. Just create the top of the ears. And then just bring that down toward her head. And before I finish it off, I'm just going to add some little curls there. And then repeat on the other side. Now for the details on the ear, just add a slight curve on the inside. And now I'm going to draw a curl in each ear, and I think I might add two actually. So 2 curls in each ear. And then I'm just going to draw a line, just sort of parallel to that first line that we drew for the ears, and that'll be where I color in. I'm going to color that part red and the rest of the ears white. Now let's move on to Mei's body. I'm going to draw a curve here at the bottom of her neck and a little point there just to know where I need to put her collar. And it's going to just be like a fish hook shape for her collar. Just cleaning that up. Now let's draw her shoulders. You're just going to extend a curve, sort of going downward on each side. I'm going to fix that line. Now you're going to draw a small line, just coming down for the side of her body. Repeat on the other side. Clean that up, just extend it down. And now for her hands, she's got her hands in a fist, so we're going to make some waves for her knuckles. Just 4 knuckles there. And then at the bottom, just create a small curve, and then an even smaller curve at the top of her fist. And then 2 lines for the cuff, and then you're going to close off that cuff with another curve. I'm going to create a fish hook shape here for her sleeve, and then a small curve for the other part of her sleeve. And then just try to connect that with her shoulder. And then just a small line down here underneath her arm. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So again, draw 4 knuckles. Extend that line at the bottom and a smaller line at the top of her knuckle there. A small line on each side. And then finish off the cuff of her sweater. And then just create another hook shape for her sleeve. And then connect that to her shoulder. And then again another line for under her arm. Now let's create the buttons for her sweater there. I'm just going to start just outside that the center of her collar. I'm going to bring down a curve and then a smaller curve just underneath that. And then just 2 small curves on each side. And this is the ribbing of her sweater just at the bottom. I'm going to extend that line out just a little bit more so it works. And then on the other side of her collar, bring down another curve. These 2 lines should be centered with her collar. And now on the inside of those 2 lines, I'm going to draw the buttons. I'm going to draw 4 buttons just evenly spaced on her sweater. Now let's go ahead and work on her skirt. So on each side of her body, I'm going to create a curve just coming down. And then inside that skirt, place 3 small points evenly spaced out. And it helps if you put 1 in the center, it just helps you with the other 2 points. Now go down to her skirt, the bottom of her skirt, 1 straight line there, bring up a line to that first point, bring it down, another straight line, bring it up to the second point, and then bring it back down. Another straight line, bring up a line to the third point, and then straight down, and then finish up the skirt with another straight line. And then you're going to put some small lines in between those triangles that you just made. And that'll finish up the pleats in her skirt. Now for her legs, just a little ways inside her skirt, draw a curve for her calf, and then another curve, and then a straight line connecting those 2 curves. It's basically the legging she's wearing underneath her skirt. And then her other leg is turned to the side, so I'm going to draw a straightish line there for her shin, and then for her calf, you're going to draw a slight dent there, and then a curve. And I'm going to adjust here because I ran out of space. So now underneath those lines, the leggings that you just drew, you're going to draw her ankles. It's just 2 small lines on each side. Now just under her leggings, place a curve for the tongue of her shoe, and then you're going to just bring down a wavy line for the side of her shoe, and then connect those 2 lines with a slightly curved line for the bottom of her shoe. And then I'm going to just create the small little wave. It's like I don't know, what do you call it? It's like the tip of the shoe. Followed by just a line separating the tongue from the rest of her shoe. And then almost like a blobby rectangle. Just some details there. And then 2 small rectangles for her shoelaces. Now for the other shoe, just draw a curve on the outside. It's almost slightly curved there. And then a curve underneath her ankle, followed by a U shape for the tongue of her shoe. And you're just going to extend a line out for the top of her shoe and then come back down to the bottom curve and draw the rest of it. And then just create again that top of her shoe. And I'm going to separate the tongue again from the rest of the shoe. Create sort of like a rectangle shape. These are just little details of the shoe, and then the shoelaces. Now let's draw the tail. I'm going to come just underneath her sweater and draw a curve coming up. I'm going to round it out and then swoop down just underneath her skirt. Alright, our Meilin is complete. I'm going to go ahead and color. I'm also going to add some stripes to her tail. So she has 3 stripes on her tail, as I think anyway. And then, hold on, let me add some details down here. If you want to add 2 lines down there for the ribbing of her sweater, go for it. But yeah, I'm going to fast forward and color, and I will see you at the end of the video. Something I completely forgot to add earlier were the arms of her glasses. So on each side of her glasses, just draw a line connecting from her glasses to just the top of her ear and a line above that, and repeat on the other side. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed drawing along with me, and if you did, please hit that like and subscribe button to see more kitten brush videos in the future. Bye!